It's late Saturday night in New York. It's exactly 11:55 at night. A man is running toward the subway station on 59th Avenue. He just got off work at a restaurant where he's a waiter. It was an unusual night and he finished his shift late. He's in a hurry to get home and spend some time with his girlfriend. As he approaches the station, he notices something strange. Someone put up a barrier at the entrance to the subway. The man had never seen anything like that before, but he thought maybe there was some repair work going on. From the outside, everything looked normal inside, and he's in a hurry and doesn't want to walk several blocks to the next station. So he goes past the barrier. What could possibly happen, right? As he walks to the platform, he starts to doubt his decision. Because inside, man, it's really empty, dude. He didn't see anyone around. Maybe he made a mistake by entering the station. He turns to leave, but hears a train approaching. Well, everything seems normal then. He'll be able to get home really quickly. He checks his wristwatch. It's exactly 11:57 at night. The train stops and its doors open. It looks a bit older than the trains he's used to. Still, it's working, right? So let's go inside, and there's absolutely no one in there. Only then does he hear something in the station. He turns around and sees someone running along the platform shouting, "Stop! Stop!" It's a man wearing a transport company vest. He's running desperately, and just as he's about to reach the door, it closes. The employee shouts again to stop, telling him to get down from there, but it's no use. All he can do is watch the train leave and disappear into the darkness. With a sigh, he picks up his walkie-talkie and says, "We lost another passenger to the ghost train." The man doesn't know, but he has just embarked on a very dangerous journey. Every Saturday, the train arrives at exactly the same time, 11:57 post-meridian. It opens its doors to board or disembark passengers for exactly 1 minute. Then it closes and disappears until the next week. It is believed that the train travels to the parallel world, almost identical to ours except it's much darker and grayer. The only ones who managed to return were a 75-year-old man and his little dog. They stayed on the train for a week and didn't get off in the other realm. He said that when he got there, he saw his whole family who had already passed away. And he was about to get off to give them a hug because he missed them so much. But his dog started barking and didn't let him get off, man. And then it hit him that it wouldn't be a good thing. And he stayed inside the train for a week. When he realized it, he saw that he was at the station where he had gotten on, and he managed to get out of that macabre trip. Carmen Winstead was a young 17-year-old student who was in high school. One day, the principal of the school she attended informed everyone at the school that there would be a fire drill. That's when the alarm sounded and all the students left their respective classrooms with their teachers and gathered in the central courtyard. While the teachers were taking attendance, a group of 5 friends decided to play a prank on Carmen Winstead and accidentally pushed her toward one of the nearby sewers to embarrass her in front of the whole school. The girls pushed her and she tripped, falling awkwardly into the open manhole. Seeing her fall into the sewer, the girls started laughing at her. When Carmen's name was called by the teacher, they shouted, "She's in the sewer!" The 5 friends thought it would be a simple joke, but something went wrong. All the students started laughing at the situation. However, when the teachers looked at the manhole and saw Carmen's body lying in the dirt in that filthy cubicle, the laughter stopped immediately. Carmen didn't survive the fall. There was nothing the teachers could do for her. The mistake had already been made, and the perpetrators of the crime were stunned because in reality, they had no intention of taking her life, just messing with the girl. Carmen Winstead's revenge. The police arrived quickly at the scene and began questioning everyone present to find out what had happened. When it was the 5 friends' turn, they all stated that Carmen had slipped and fallen by accident into that open manhole. The police believed their statement and closed the case. Weeks after this tragic event, strange emails started arriving to Carmen's classmates. The email received was titled, "They pushed me." The message also warned that if those responsible didn't take responsibility for her death, they would suffer terrible consequences, as well as anyone who didn't believe her story. As expected, most of the young people in her class thought it was a bad joke and ignored the warning. One night, while one of the girls who had pushed Carmen Winstead was taking a shower, she started to hear footsteps coming from inside the bathroom. Frightened, she dried off quickly and went to sleep. Around 3:33 in the morning, the young woman's parents heard some knocks, and when they looked into their daughter's room, she wasn't there. They started looking for her all over the neighborhood. Desperate, but they couldn't find her whereabouts. The next morning, a security guard made a terrible discovery. In the same manhole where Carmen had died was the lifeless body of this young woman. The same thing happened to the other 4 girls. But the deaths didn't stop there, my friends. More and more classmates of Carmen were found. After these bizarre mass occurrences, the school declared a 30-day closure to investigate the cases. However, it was never opened again. There was a couple who lived in a house on top of a hill. When they got married, there was a big party that lasted for an entire month. Everyone in the village said that the union of these two would last for all eternity, until the passing years started to change this couple. After a few years, the husband, who was loving at first, began to mistreat his wife. She couldn't understand how that sweet person could change so much and become a real pest. One day, he came home from work and she greeted him by taking off his overcoat. She noticed a small detail on his shoulder, a red lipstick mark. She asked what that was. "You were having an affair." Irritated and out of control, the guy locked her in the basement and left her there, man. He wouldn't let her leave that hole. He fed her sometimes when he remembered, right? That's because he ate out at his mistress's house, and when he went home he just slept, right? One day the wife managed to escape from the basement. Outraged, she fought with him. She started hitting the scoundrel. "Get out of here, woman, come on!" However, due to her weakness, she ended up going to the land of the dead as well. The next day, her husband brought his lover into the house and they started living there as if nothing had happened, man. Her spirit didn't leave out of so much indignation and anger. Seeing such treachery and not being able to do anything made the deceased very furious, and she started to lean toward the dark side. Even though she didn't have the strength to destroy the lovebirds, she gathered enough strength to pour poison into their drinks without them noticing. The rest of the story, you can probably imagine what happened, right? She managed to get rid of both of them and carried out her revenge. Since then, every male who passes by or enters that abandoned house ends up dying suddenly at the hands of the widow of the hill. Hey kid, don't go into that house, man. That's where the widow of the hill lives. Any man who goes in there is doomed, my boy. Don't you know the story, man? Nonsense, old man. Come on, for God's sake, right? I'm going in here just to prove there's no such thing as spirits here, okay? Look at this. There's nothing here. That's just nonsense talk. Oh my God, I'm getting out of here. That's when the widow of the hill claims her victims. People who are careless or don't believe in such a supernatural entity.